Deep Valley is essentially a stage play set in the great outdoors. Not surprising, since its author, Dan Totherow, was mainly a playwright. Warner Brothers had bought the rights to his novel when it was published in 1942, but it was finally made in 1946 for very practical reasons. Labor unrest was roiling through the studios as craftspeople sought to unionize. Battles erupted as police and strike breakers broke up picket lines at the studio gates. Writers debated whether to walk out in support of the strikers. This is really what inspired Henry Blanke to make Deep Valley. It could be shot entirely on location, mostly in Big Bear National Forest and up the coast in Big Sur. Blanke gave the job of adapting Totherow's novel to Salka Viertel, with some additional work by Stephen Morehouse Avery. Now, Viertel was an actress turned screenwriter who hadn't had a credit in several years, although she was a legend in Hollywood. Viertel was born Salome Sarah Struerman in Galicia, now western Ukraine. Initially an actress, she decided after coming to America in the late 20s with her husband, writer-director Bertold Viertel, that she wasn't young enough or pretty enough to be in front of the camera. Instead, she became the personal screenwriter for her close friend, Greta Garbo. Viertel had acted with Garbo in the original 1930 German production of Anna Christie, and once in Hollywood, she wrote Garbo's scripts throughout the 1930s, including Queen Christina, The Painted Veil, and Anna Karenina. Viertel was most known, however, for being hostess and diplomat to the industry's European expats. Her Santa Monica home was a haven for Europeans who'd fled Hitler's reign of terror. The regular Sunday night tea parties catered to the greatest artists and intellectuals of the era. She also started the European Film Fund, which raised money to get endangered artists out of Europe during the war. When money got tight for the Viertels after the war, this assignment was Henry Blanke's way to help his friend balance the books. And because she refused to cross picket lines, Salka got to write the script at home. Jean Negulescu was an expat himself, having been born in Romania in 1900. Given that movie directors today learn to make films on their phones while they're still kids, Negulescu's life shows how arduous a career path used to be. He left home at 12, moving to Paris with dreams of becoming an artist. Still a teenager, he fought in the First World War, survived combat, then returned to Paris working as a stage decorator. He came to America in 1927, paying his way from New York to Hollywood by painting portraits, a trip that took several years. Paramount hired him as an artist in 1932, and Negulescu steadily worked his way up to being a second-unit director. In 1940, he moved to Warner Brothers, where he made musical shorts. His big break came in 1940, when he was chosen to direct the third version of The Maltese Falcon. But Jack Warner pulled the rug out from under him, letting screenwriter John Huston direct the film instead. Negulescu wouldn't make his feature debut until 1944, The Mask of Demetrios. It was a hit, and he became one of the studio's most reliable directors. After Deep Valley, he made the controversial Johnny Belinda, and it would be the director's last film for the studio. Jack Warner hated the movie so much, he fired Negulescu. Of course, the picture ended up getting Oscar nominations in every major category, 12 in all, with Jane Wyman winning the award for Best Actress. Negulescu soon found a happier home at 20th Century Fox, where he directed numerous pictures during the 1950s, including the original Titanic, How to Marry a Millionaire, and Three Coins in the Fountain. Next week on Noir Alley, I'm showing a film from 1949 not made by a major studio. Brian Donlevy, Ella Raines, Helen Walker, and Anna May Wong star in the independently made Impact, shot entirely on location in the San Francisco Bay Area. I promise backstories aplenty. Until then, see you in the shadows.